Hi friends, it's Julia. Thanks for stopping by my YouTube channel. Today I'm creating a two-page layout for Halloween. This is a kit that I had in my Halloween stash that has been in my stash since 2010. Yes, since 2010. The entire kit was still together. It was just paper and then a chipboard sheet was what came in the kit. If there was anything else that came with it, I obviously took it out of the package because it wasn't in there with it. And so I've had this kit forever, and I finally decided it was time to use it. I didn't necessarily, the inspiration sheet that came with the kit gave you ideas on a couple of layouts to create. They could either be doubles or singles. And so I followed along to some degree, but I tweaked it and made it my own. Like the spider background that was in the original inspiration, you can see it over to the left. I didn't care for that paper very much, but the back side of that is black, and I like that quite a bit. And so here I am, just cutting down the pattern papers to use on either side. Even though these could technically be used individually as two separate layouts, if I for some reason wanted to put them in separate albums, but they coordinate and they can be two pages next to each other in the same album. Does that make sense? So it could be a two-page layout, which is what I'm going to use it for, or it could be two individual layouts. So this is where I cut that black paper down, and I'm going to use it. I have pulled in a couple of sheets of that dark orange, almost rusty color paper from my stash, and I trimmed the black to go right on top of that. And then I have the other pieces of paper cut down that I'm going to use on the top. And that kind of follows along what the inspiration guide did. To some degree, not 100%, but to some degree. They sent out a chipboard sheet with this kit. Now, I don't mind the chipboard pieces. They're cute, but they are not really, I don't like them a whole lot. I like them some, but not a whole lot. So, no, I didn't use any of the chipboard, and it's not for lack of thinking about it and maybe trying it, but just not my favorite. It's a wonder I don't make a mess with all those pattern papers like that when I put all the glue on there on each piece before I glue them all down. I mean, it makes it go super fast to put everything down and get everything down quickly, but it also makes me a little bit nervous when I watch it going, oh no, I'm going to stick those all together. Somehow I managed not to. That pumpkin paper is super cute. Totally not my style, very cartoony, but it is super cute. Maybe if I had super short people to scrapbook, that might be kind of fun to use that. But my youngest granddaughter is, she's 6. So, I mean, I could conceivably get away with doing a layout with her, but not any of the olders, I don't think. So I prepped all of this as far as pulling papers and embellishments and everything. Paper, stickers, embellishments, all of that. I prepped it all by pulling it all the night before. So the night before I'm doing this layout, I had pulled it all out and set it over to the side, knowing full well that I wouldn't be content just to have the chipboard pieces and that I would want to use some additional embellishments. So I pulled out everything and have it over to the sides to give me some choices. I really like the aspect of narrowing my selections but I don't want it narrowed so much that I want to put just those pieces in a bag and say I'm just going to use these pieces. Sometimes it just doesn't feel right. Excuse me. So there I'm just taking some scrap paper and cutting it down to be my photo mats. I'm going to have the inspiration piece had 2 4x6 photos on the left and 1 4x6 photo on the right. I'm going to have 3 4x4 layouts on the left, and then on the right I've made room for a 5x7 and a 4x4. And you can see I pretty much keep that selection just exactly like that. I will tweak it because I'm going to put some washi tape down on top of the that striped paper. And I'm looking at that chipboard sheet to see if there's anything that I feel like in there that I can use that will work. And I actually pulled that title piece out to see if I could use that for my title. But I'm not going to care for it, and I'm going to put it back on the carrier sheet. Yeah, it just doesn't work. Now with the paper pad that I pulled in with my Halloween stash kit, it had a cut apart sheet with tags in it, and so you can see I have some of those laying there to the right. And I am going to use 3 of those tags on this layout. Here I'm using this washi tape, super cute washi tape. It's not terrific about sticking down, but it is super cute. I think I got it at Hobby Lobby or Michael's a couple of years ago. And originally I was going to tape it all the way around the back, of the orange paper, but opted to lift that up a little bit and tuck it back behind the black paper. And so here I'm just putting it in the same location on the other page as well. Given that it is so old, it has been tearing diagonally across the roll. So as I start to pull it out, if I'm going too fast, I really chop it up pretty good. So I've had to pull off a big old piece and start over. So, but I use a little bit more. It seems like every time I make Halloween layouts or cards, I'm using a little bit more of it. I don't want to get rid of it entirely. Even if I have to put ATG tape behind it, I still want to have that ability to use what I can from it. And so I was laying that down there. I thought, oh, I'm going to match these up at the bottom, but there's not enough room. So in order to maintain a continuity, if you line your photos up either at the top or the bottom going across the page, it gives it a more I don't know what the word I'm looking for is, but it makes it feel more it makes it look better, y'all. And that's something that I learned years ago from a lady that I bought close to my heart product from. And I think if you look in their catalogs and stuff, you will see that their layouts do that. Even though you think that they have kind of wonky photos, either the tops or the bottoms going across the page will match. So I've learned that there, and I've seen it in magazines over the years too. So I've got that little piece there that says Trick or Treat on it, and it's an acetate piece and it's popped up. So I wanted to pop that tag up there, and so I thought I would pull some of the pop dots off of the back of the Trick or Treat, but because it's almost like a rub-on for the title on the acetate, it just came right off. So I had to put it back. You can see I've got some stuff spread out there. It's stuff that I've pulled out of my bowl there of random bits and pieces that I want to try and use. I have that journal spot that I've had in, that I added into this kit, and it's kind of a grayish black, but it has a look about it that I think fits this layout pretty well. These these papers, they have a cream base to them, and they're not really distressed, but they feel older. Does that make sense? And so I think that journal spot that I cut in half and tucked there, I think it works. These are labels that, the one that says glycerin there, and then this one here is a pharmacy label that I had previously printed out, and cut it out to go on a different layout at a different time. And those, yeah, they went into my leftover box, and I just pulled them out to use them on these layouts. They're pretty old. I printed them out years and years ago. So I'm going through, and I'm looking to see, of all the stuff that I have pulled out, if there's anything else that I want to use. Now, I have those little squares up there that almost have a postage stamp edge to them, and I decided I'm going to use a couple on this layout. I use one over to the left and then one to the right. And I had that clock there that's behind that tag. I had put, I had fussy cut that. I had stamped it and fussy cut it, and it was in my leftovers box as well. And you can see that little sticker, it says haunted on it. And then I put that flare there that had that big old spider on it. Just kind of creeps me out. All the spiders that I have in this kit. I've at some points in my lifetime with different scrapbook kits and stuff, I have had way more spiders. But yeah, so that one I take, and it's just got glycerin on it, and it's from Heiser Pharmacy, and it's just a, you know, off-white label. It looks like it's really old. And that's where I'm putting that. And it says October on there, and I just love that. I think it flows really well with the background paper. And that's where I decide I'm going to pull off the pop dots, and then realize that, yeah, it peeled the letter right off. So I put it back on and just put it down like that. Rather than onto the tag like I had originally wanted, I put it to the side. So there, I just put one of those black doilies down that I bought. I think it's American Crafts. But I love those things. And I have gray and black as well, or gray and white as well, but I'm not using those as much as I am the black ones. I think I've used most of those up. Now that one is a little acetate piece that has a spider web with bats flying out of it. And I've used others like that in other, on other pages as well. You know, I really thought this foam tape was a dud. I thought it was goopy and icky, and I really wasn't liking it, but I was using my Cutter Bee scissors to cut it all the time because they're Teflon coated, and for whatever reason, that tape does not work well with those scissors. I bought these scissors on a back-to-school sale. They were like $2.99, and they're Fiskars, and they're Teflon coated, and they seem to be working really, really well. I'm using those what look like brads, but they're actually the metal piece with the enamel on top of it, or the epoxy on top of it, that it doesn't have the part that goes through the paper on them. That's just a random sticker that I'm sticking there. And it says, "At first cock crow, the ghosts must go back to their quiet graves below." Oh, that other sticker that I added above the trick or treat, it says "Scream." There's the spiders I was talking about. So I'm just adding some spiders on over the page, since I added that spider web doily there. And I thought about adding one of these spider webs off that sheet, and then I opted not to. I thought, oh, that works fine. It's good like it is. And I add that pumpkin there. That pumpkin is probably 500 gazillion years old. I've had it in my stash forever. And I'm finally glad to be using those because I'm telling you, when you've had something in your stash that long and you don't want to get rid of it until you use it, it feels good when you finally do use it. And I must say, I am a hoarder of supplies like this. I did go through and do a purge of some scrapbooking supplies, Halloween scrapbooking supplies, probably closer to the first part of the year. And I sent them to my granddaughter's school for different projects they were doing. And it felt really, really good to get those cleaned out of my stash and just to leave me with the things that I absolutely knew that I loved and I wanted to use. So I've got pumpkins in each cluster. I have that cluster with the tag to the right. I've got up on that boo, where it says boo, I've got another set of pumpkins, and then down on the lower right cluster, I have more pumpkins. And those look like leaves or vines maybe, and so I tuck those in around the layout, and I'm going to use some of my bigger bling with those to give it almost like it's sprouting out of the page. Those are bits and pieces, those fleur-de-lis that I have cut out, fussy cut out of that border strip there, and I'm just placing a couple around the page. And they're pretty old too, and they were a little bit difficult to get up, and they kind of came apart, but I made it work. I really do like how this page has come together, and I can't wait to have photos to put on it. And once I get those on there, I'll go back and show you guys what it looks like afterwards. But when that'll be, I don't know, because I have to wait till, obviously wait till Halloween happens and then getting photos from my kids afterwards. So I'll have a video coming up of my leftovers, my unfinished layouts. I have an entire album full of unfinished layouts that don't have photos on. So you guys stay tuned for that. I'm not exactly sure when I'm going to get it uploaded, but it will be coming soon. I really hope that you guys are inspired to get into your Halloween stash and to make some Halloween layouts. And if you do, please let me know. I'd love to go have a look, see what you've created. If you like these layouts, I would appreciate you giving me a thumbs up. And if you haven't already subscribed, I would love for you to, especially if you like to see stash being used up. Anyway, have a great day. See you guys on the next video. Bye-bye.